So welcome to DevOps webinar series session 3. So in today's session, we are going to discuss infrastructure as code. So let's go ahead and see today's lineup. Today we are going to discuss why we need infrastructure as code, and then we can discuss more about what is infrastructure as code. Later, we can discuss several infrastructure as code tools available in the market. And finally, we can start learning a bit about Terraform with some hands-on experience. So let's go ahead and see why we need infrastructure as code. So, to understand why we need infrastructure as code, we need to understand the current problem we have. Like first one, how to view the history of changes happen to infrastructure. It's it's like this. So if you create IT infrastructure manually, you don't know the history of changes you have done to the each of the infrastructure. There's no easy way to track it. So, and next question is how to roll back infrastructure to previous state. So there's no easy way to roll back infrastructure to previous state when we deploy infrastructure manually. So another thing is deploy infrastructure faster. So if you create infrastructure manually, it will take a lot of time and it's not fast enough. And how to ensure consistency between environments. So it's difficult to maintain consistency between environments with the manual process. So as example, we know normally QA and production environments should be identical. But if we configure these environments manually, there can be a human error. So we can't guarantee these environments identical. And another requirement is how to scale infrastructure faster. So there can be several scaling needs, such as create 100 of virtual machines, or increase number of virtual machines, or increase size of the virtual machine, kind of several infrastructure scaling requirements. So in that kind of situation, if you try to do all the scaling work manually, it take a lot of time, and it's not an easy task. And next question, how to support agile teams needing on demand environments. So when it comes to agile teams, they use various environments such as QA environments, production environments, and test automation environments. Likewise, they need several environments on demand. So it's difficult to deploy such environment faster with the manual process. So these are the few problems we face when deploying the infrastructure. So infrastructure as code is introduced as a solution to all the problems faced by the IT teams. So let's go ahead and see what is infrastructure as code. So infrastructure as code is managing your infrastructure using configuration files. So you have all the configuration details in a script, and you can deploy infrastructures using that script. And you can source control infrastructure. So if you have your infrastructure as a code, so you can source control infrastructure, you can track the history of changes, and if you want to roll back to previous version, it can be possible. So you can source control infrastructures when you using infrastructure as code. And you can have several versions. You can manage versions for your infrastructure, because you can similar to your development code, you can assign some kind of versioning mechanism to your infrastructure code as well. So you can manage versions for your infrastructure. And another thing, most important thing, you can do the faster deployment of infrastructure, because you don't have to do things manually. It is automated process, so it's faster than a manual process. Let's go ahead. Okay. These are a few of the infrastructure tools available in the market. First one is Azure ARM templates. This is available with Azure, and it's a comparatively it's a difficult infrastructure automation tool. And when it comes to Azure CLI, it's not considered as a infrastructure automation tool, but it can be utilized with other shell scripts to deploy the infrastructure automatically. When it comes to Terraform, it's it's done with declarative language, and it's easy to understand and easy to use. In this session, we are going to learn more about this tool. And Follow Me and Bicep are quite new tools, but Pulumi has the same concepts as Terraform. Specialty with Pulumi is it supports multiple languages. Bicep is the latest language, infrastructure as code language in Microsoft. And specialty of this uh, tool is it compares configuration files directly with the actual resources without using a um, state file like Terraform and Pulumi. Let's go ahead and discuss what Terraform is. Terraform is a declarative language. It's done with the HashiCorp configuration language, and it can have several configuration files. Normally, these are the common names we use for the configuration files: main TF, variable TF, and output TF. Likewise, and Terraform support multiple cloud. We can use Terraform with Azure, AWS, and Google clouds. And Terraform store resource state in a state file. We can learn more about the state file while we are doing the demo. And manually created resource can be imported to state. So you can you can convert your manually deployed resources to a configuration infrastructure configuration using this Terraform import feature. And there are a few uh, uh, commands available with Terraform, which support you to do the dry run, which means you can use this Terraform plan command to do the dry run. So it will list down all the changes you are going to do to your infrastructure, what type of resources you are going to create, and how many resources you are going to create, and names of those resources, and several values of those resources. And also it mention if how many changes you are going to make, and how many resources you are going to destroy. Likewise, there are a lot of information displayed in your displayed when you use the Terraform plan before do the Terraform apply. So let's go in. Okay, then we have Terraform Pros and Cons. So when it comes to Terraform Pros, it's a declarative and easy language. It's easy to understand, and it has good community support. You can learn Terraform easily. There are a lot of supportive documents and supportive community forums. And dry run allows you to know uh, what type of resources you are going to deploy. And you can create you can use output files to share resources among multiple solution. So you can learn this while we are doing the demos today. And it support multiple cloud environments. That's another advantage of Terraform. Let's move to cons. So main thing is it has a dependency on a state file. So we have a configuration file, and we have actual resources. In between those resources, like those configuration file, and between resources there's a state file. So there is a dependency with this state file. That's a con. When it comes to cons, it's a main cons of this Terraform. And another thing is we can pre-validate your resources using Terraform plan, but success of Terraform plan does not guarantee the success of Terraform apply command. That's another problem with Terraform. So let's move to our first demo. So in the first demo, I will show you how to prepare your development machine to work with Terraform. So you can download Terraform using this Terraform official site. Here you can select relevant application. For me, I'm going with Windows 64-bit. I already download that. I'll show you. It will download the zip file, extract the zip file, and you can find Terraform executable. And once you download this, you can copy this to the location where you want to put this. In my case, I added a folder called Terraform, and add that Terraform application inside that folder. Next step should be add the environment variable for the Terraform. If you go to environment variables, you can see the system variable section. In the path section, click on the path and click on edit, and click on new and add the path you need. Here I already added the Terraform path, so I don't need to add it again. Once it's done, you can confirm it is working by using this command. It will list down all the details, all the commands of the Terraform, which means you have configured your Terraform mach development machine to work with the Terraform correctly. So let's move back to our slides. Okay, now let's write a simple Terraform script and see how it works. So I'm using Visual VS Code, and here I have added a folder called Demo, and I'm going to add the first Terraform file to that. I name it as main.tf. Here, I'm going to add a few variables in this script. So it start with variables keyword, and you can give values like this. I'm going to give a value region, and You can put a description and a default value. So I'm going to add only a default value. I'm not going to add a description here. If you're not if you are not giving any default value here, you have to provide these values while you execute Terraform plan and Terraform apply commands. So I'm going to give the value here, uh, East US. I'll add another variable, stage. Default value would be dev stage, and I will add another variable, suffix, and I'll add 001 as a value. So now I have added the variables. Next I'm going to add the resource. So resource block will be start with the resource keyword, and here you can select the what type of resource you are going to deploy. So I'm going to deploy Azure RM. Okay, it's not. I'm going to deploy Azure RM resource group. So resource group, and you can give any name you want here. Mm, I name it as demo 1. Inside the resource group block, you need to provide the name for the resource. So in here, I'm going to name it as TF demo 1. You can add those variables here. I'm going to give the variable stage, and next I'm going to add variable region, and next I'm going to add the variable suffix. Finally, I will add RG because this is a resource group. And another variable, another value we need to add here. It's a mandatory value. That's a location, and we have a variable for a. Oh no, we don't have a variable for like location. Let's add that. Um, no need to do that. We have a variable for region. We can add that here. So dot region, right? So we have added 3 variables, and we have added a resource block. Now we have a configuration file, but we need a way to communicate with the our Azure subscription. To do that, we need to add a provider block. Provider. Our provider is Azure RM provider. So select that. Now you can give the subscription ID. Let's copy the subscription. Okay. Okay, let's copy the subscription ID from here. And we need to add features. Seems it's fine now. So let's try to run this and see what happens. So we are in the demo 2 folder. We need to move to demo 1 folder. So I'm moving to demo 1. Right. Now we need to, first step is we need to initialize Terraform. It will verify it will download all the plugins we required for do the uh, next steps. So let's start with Terraform init. It's initializing provider plugins and downloading things, installing things. So it's basically prepare this for working with Terraform. First time it take a few minutes, but when you do it in after that, it will be faster than this. Okay, it's taking too much time. I think my internet connection is slow today. Let's wait and see a little bit. Okay, let's close this terminal and start again and see what will happen. Otherwise, it will take too much time. Okay, let's go back to demo. Okay, now it's initializing. Okay, demo 1, platform init. Okay, now it succeeded. Next, we can do Terraform plan. It will show what are the resources you are going to create, or if there are any errors in the script, it will be visible here. Okay, so it says we are going to create a new resource, and name of the resource is this, and location of the resource is this, and type resource type is a resource group. So it say we are going to add one resource. There's no like zero changes, and we are not going to destroy any of the existing resources. That's fine. Let's run the Terraform. Apply. Again, you will be able to see similar result like this, and there will be a question for a confirmation. So it show all similar details here, and it asks for the confirmation. We can check all the details in the logs, and you can check these uh, validation results down here, and you if you are happy with that, you can simply type the yes and click enter. It will create the resources in the target provider. So let's see, and okay, it started the creation. Okay, it says one resource is added. You can see once you do the Terraform apply, this Terraform state file is added here. It has all the details about the configuration file. So this is very important file for Terraform. So if you need to maintain this Terraform file correctly, otherwise you will get some troubles with your infrastructures. So let's go to portal and see. Actually, we have a resource there or not. We created the resource group. So let's go to resource groups. So here you can see this is the resource group we deployed using the Terraform script. Let's go back to our okay. Let me close this. Okay, that's our basic about Terraform configuration file. Let's see what we have in our next demo. So as you see, I added one configuration file, but that's not the best practice with Terraform. You can have multiple configuration files organized according to your requirements. So as next step, and another thing is if you are a if you work as an individual, it's okay to keep local state file. Otherwise, if you are work as a team, you need to keep your state file in a remote location which can be shared among the all team members. So that part will be covered in our next demo. So let's move back to VS Code. So this is done. Let's go to demo 2. So here I have added 3 empty files, which this one main TF, this one state TF, and this one variable TF. So main TF, I'm going to add details about the resources, which means I'm going to get this script and I'm going to put it to main. Let's change this as demo 2. In variables, we can put all the variables here, variables and the provider. Okay, copy this section and put it to variables. Right. Now we have our variable file and we have our main configuration file. You can see there's a extra file called state. So this state file is used to create a remote state file for this Terraform solution. So I'll show you how to do that. You need to add the state block. So I'll copy that from this solution and I'll explain. Okay, in demo, okay, let's go to demo state file. Let's paste that. Okay, using this code block, we can communicate with the resource group in the Azure, and there is a storage account, and inside that storage account we have a container with this name, and inside that we are going to create a state file. So we can give any name here for the key. I'm going to give this as demo2 rg. Before run this Terraform solution, let's go to this uh, resource group, this storage account, and see what we have there. So let me go to the resource groups. Okay, we have this RGTF state resource group. Inside that, we have a storage account. Inside that storage account, you have containers. We have this state file. So these things I already created manually. So we are going to create that state file from the Terraform while executing that solution. So let's go to our code, and I'll move to demo 2. We need to do Terraform init because it's a new Terraform solution. Let's give some time to initialize. Okay, it's starting. Now initializing plugins and installing the plugins. Seems it takes some time now. Let's wait and see. Normally it's faster, but due to my internet connection problems, it's a bit slow today. Okay, it's take too much time. Let's close the terminal and start again. Otherwise, it will take too much time. cd demo2 and Terraform init. Initializing started. Let's wait and see how much time it take to complete the initialization. Okay, finally. Next, let's try Terraform plan. Okay, pre-validation, we can see pre-validation process has started. Let's see what type of result it will display for this new configuration uh, files. Since it take too much time due to the connection problem, so let's this as it is, and let's move to the next demo and come back to this once this is completed. So in the next demo, I'm going to show you guys how to configure a DevOps pipeline to deploy Terraform configurations, and how to use output values and data blocks in Terraform. So let me go to Azure DevOps. Okay, in DevOps, I have this Terraform code already added. I will explain this later. If you go to the pipeline, I added this pipeline, release pipeline. I'll explain you how I have done this. So in the pipeline, first we need to select the artifact. So you can click on add and select what type of artifact you are going to use. You can use build artifact, you can use files in the repo, or you can use GitHub or TFVC. So in this configuration, in this project, I'm select Azure repos, and then you can select the project and the repository. Then you will be asked to select the branch, and right. So I already added this to the pipeline, so I'm not going to complete this. Right. So I have already added this. So I'm continuing with that. Then let's go to the pipeline steps. In this pipeline, I have added this as with two jobs, app service plan and deploy web app jobs. In app service plan, first step, I install Terraform, the required version for me. And then we need to do Terraform init. So in the init step, we need to provide the subscription and the resource group. What is the resource group of your remote state file? And what is the storage account name of your remote state file, and the container name, and finally the uh, state file name. And next step is Terraform plan. Simply select the plan command and select the relevant project. So here, this code is in app service plan. I selected that one. Next step is Terraform apply. You can select the apply command from the drop down and select the solution location. Same steps are added here. This is a separate Terraform solution. That's why I added this as two jobs in the same pipeline. So let's run this pipeline and let's go back to our demo 2 and what's the status of that? Okay, that's completed. Now you can see it gives the same log message mentioning that you are going to create new resource group. So you can simply run the Terraform apply. Apply process is started. Okay, it says you are going to add one resource with this name TF Demo Dev East US 001 RG. Are you, if you are happy with this result, you can confirm it by giving yes. Now it will start resource deployment. Okay, it says new resource is added. Let's go and see. Okay, it's not here yet. Okay, now it's here. So that the new resource is added here. Uh, Now we should have our state file in a storage account. Let's go to the storage account. Go to the storage account and select the relevant container. Okay, now we can see there's the state file relevant to our demo 2. If you go here, you can see all the information relevant to demo 2 configuration file. So now all the team members can use this state file without using the local state file. This file will be shared uh, among all the team members. Now, let's go back to our pipeline. Let's see, let's see the status of that before moving to the slides. Okay, it's in progress. App service plan deployment is completed, and web app deployment is in progress. So until complete this pipeline, we can discuss about output files and the data blocks in Terraform. Let's close these two and move to first. Let's move to app service plan solution. In this solution, you can see we have a variable file with the normal variables, and then we have a main file with resources. This file has two resources. One is resource group, and second one is app service plan. Inside that resource group, you can see name of the app service plan is provided like this, and location of app service plan is provided uh, like this, like Azure RM resource group dot demo rg. That means this resource, and dot location means same location as the resource group, and then the resource group name. You can see it, uh, same resource group name is given here, and other relevant information for the app service plan. These are the basics, like these are the known resources. So let's move to new things here. Uh, and also you have this state block, because you are going to maintain your state block as a remote state file. So that's why we add this code block and new name for the uh, state file of this solution. This is the new file we are using with the app service plan. We added this output file. Purpose of this output file is you when you creating this app service plan, uh, it it has a unique resource ID. So you can get that ID value as a output value, and you can add it output value to a state file, this state file, and uh, you can access that app service plan from another solution. So I will show you how to do that. uh, if I go to the web app solution, it also have these common configuration files. We have variables, just normal variables. And in state file, you can see we have added additional state file. This is normal state file block. It will provide the state file name for this new solution, and you can see another code block in the state file start with the data, which means you read existing data from a uh, existing resource file. So in this section, you can see we are going to read values from this Terraform demo storage account. Inside that, we have state file. Inside that, we have state file name dev plan. So we are going to read values from this dev plans tf state file. That's why we add this data block and this code block section. By using that, we can read the values in the remote state file. If we go to our main file, you can see few other new things here. This resource group block started with data because we are not going to create new resource group. We are going to use existing resource group. So we can start it with the data and give any name you want and give the real resource name you are going to use within this configuration. So we are going to uh, an- create web app inside this resource group. This resource group is already deployed one, so we can use that one using the data block. You can see how we in this app service plan block, you can see how we refer these data blocks. So it start with data and then the resource type and the name and location. Like we need to get the location of this resource group. We give the simply give the location and similarly we can get the name of the resource group. Specialty is we need to start this with data and we need to start this with data. When it comes to app service plan ID, this is the value we output from the previous solution. So this is the value we output from this solution, right? So when it okay, if we go to main file again, you can see we are reading this value from a remote state file, data Terraform remote state. That means we are reading this from a remote state file, and in that remote state file, there is a section called output. In that, there is a value called plan ID. So we tell this Terraform configuration to refer that value from that remote state file. So if we go to our pipeline, we can see this clearly. So this is I executed the same script using the pipeline, so we can see these results from our uh, pipeline. Okay, pipeline is completed. So let's go to the portal and go to resource groups. Now you can see we have added new resource group called demo dev 001. Inside that, we have app service plan and app service. If we go back to our state files, in the storage account container, okay, inside the container, you can see we have new two state files added, one for dev app tf state and one for dev plan tf state. So if we open this one, dev plan tf state, you can see there's a section called outputs and you can see the plan ID here. This value is added from our first solution. First solution, which is this app service plan solution, and we refer that value, output value, from our web app solution. That's how we share resources using output files among Terraform solutions. If we go further, Okay, I will explain a bit about another advanced usages of Terraform. Terraform import is another important command available with the Terraform. So Terraform import command is used to import existing resources into Terraform state. So it can be done using this type of command, like you can give the command like this: terraform import, then give the define the resource block, and find the resource id, give the resource id, and you can execute this command. This is that kind of terraform import command. So you can execute this command, and uh, you can import the state of manually created resource into a state file. You can easily find this resource ID from the portal. If you go to the portal, let's try to find the resource ID of this resource group. So if you go to the resource group, you can see this properties section. You can easily copy the resource ID from here. And another advanced usage is having multiple providers. Like uh, we know we are using multiple subscriptions with the real world projects. Like we have QA subscription for QA, subscription for production, and several subscription. And in that type of situation, we need to uh, tell Terraform configuration which subscription we need to select for each resource. So for that purpose, we can use multiple providers like this with the alias. uh, as example, like here we have given the alias as dev, and we have provided the subscription id, and likewise this is for qa. And you can simply select the relevant provider using this provider command inside your resource or data block. So with that, we come to the end of our session today. So I hope you guys learned something new. Thank you very much.